might be commenting to me, and I'm sending you a bottle of bourbon out. I'm not going to send you guys any of those vials out. I'm not trying to do all that because we have some weird people in the world that just like, I don't know. If I'm gonna send you something, I'm gonna send it to you, and I'm gonna go into my pocket, and I'm gonna like, here you go, thank you. Like Joe Unfiltered. Joe has a bottle coming from me because he's a good guy. A little old fashioned. They have a bottle coming from me because they're a good guy. He's a good guy. These are not podcasts, but YouTube creators. They have YouTube channels and they're doing good. And I really do appreciate them so much as a young YouTuber and now young podcasters trying to, navigate the waters here. So all right, everybody, welcome to Outside the Staves. We're back with you one more time for another episode coming out to you. Hey, we got so much to talk about this evening until I had to take my notes. I was doing it on my cell phone, laptop. I'm just going to go old school and just bring it to them, pen and paper. So, but yeah, we got a lot to unpack tonight. Here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, we're getting dumped on right now. So I'm like, tired of doing housework and golly, Mama's finding everything for me to do today. But she did help me out to get the cave done and try to get the room redone today and get my bottles cleaned up and all this good stuff. And so she wanted me to help her out with some things. But yeah, we're getting dumped on bad. So those of you, I'm going to put this video out tonight. Today is let me look and see, I think the 5th, January 25th, Sunday. And I'm going to put this out tonight. And yeah, those of you who are on the podcast side, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, and you're listening to it and you're driving and things like that, hey, be careful. Roads here in Indiana are really, really bad from what I'm understanding. My son, I'm not me, because I'm not going to get out and shovel the first flake of snow with some 20-year-olds that live here in my house. I'm not shoveling the first flake of snow. But he went out this morning, did a great job on the driveway. Maybe about 1 o'clock. No, yeah, about 1 o'clock. Doesn't look like he even touched it. So it's pretty bad out there right now. Be careful when you guys are driving. Slow down. Take your time. You're going to get there. Nothing's that important where you have to not have to speed and carry on. Make sure, just take your time. Take your time. Take your time. You're going to get there. Also, want to put some things out to you guys real quick. The East Allen County Bourbon Bags and Bingos. Hey, I heard from Angela Thompson. She said that some people had reached out to her and donated some things, some money to that event. Hey, if you're in the Fort Wayne area and you want to go to this event, tickets are still available. They're $60 all the way up until February the 2nd. Then they go up to $65. Make sure you guys get your tickets. And those of you that are listening here on the podcast and that are listening on the Spotify end or whatnot, and you just feel generous and you want to help out and you want to put some pay ahead, what I'm asking. Just pay ahead and send somebody in your place for this event for the East Allen County Schools. They're trying to get their fundraiser together, and I think it's a really good thing, a really cool thing, and we're going to push it all the way until the day of the event, and they shut it down. You guys take a look at my video prior to this one. You'll see all the information on there, the phone numbers, contact, emails, and all of what you need to have to get in contact with those people there. Also, before we go too far into the podcast tonight, if you like what I'm doing, hey, I really would appreciate you so much if you would subscribe to me. If you would like me, hey, don't forget to turn your notifications on so when I do drop a video, you guys can take a look at it and see what's going on. Leave comments, interactive. I'll respond back to you if I'm not asleep. I'll respond back to you. We'll have some dialogue and we'll have some fun doing it and talking and having some fun. Ooh, man, we just got a lot to go on with you guys today. So we don't do very, very many reviews, tasting reviews or anything like that, or blinds or anything here on the podcast. But I do have a bottle that I'm going to have on my table every time that you guys see that pop lesson. Every time that I turn the podcast on, we're going to have something that we're going to be pouring on. Nobody's paying me to do this. I just reached up randomly, got a bottle. We're going to drink on it tonight. I just kind of reached back and found one. I don't know what it is when I pulled it off. But tonight it's going to be Woodford Reserve Double Oak. Woodford Reserve Double Oak. That's what we're going to be sipping on tonight while we give you guys some content tonight. All right, hold on one second. You guys are going to hear me say this a lot. It's going to be a thing now. I'm going to say, hold on a second, and I'm going to take me a sip. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys just a couple minutes just to pour your stuff in your Glencairn, go get your little swirl on, get your smell on, get everything right, okay? And every time you hear me say, like, hold on a second, we're going to drink together, okay? So I'm going to say it right now, hold on a second. This bottle right here is about 1.5 years old, and it should have been long gone the way this tastes right now. This is really, really, really good. All right, so going to start everything off with a story. Going to tell you guys a story. First off, whatever you do not fall out with your family or your friends over bourbon. It's too much bourbon in this America or whatnot to have. You don't have to fall out with people over bourbon, okay? It's not really that deep, okay? So, but we did an event up at, where was that? Leesburg. And one of my bourbon buddies in our group at Charter Bourbon Society, you guys can check them out also. They're on YouTube also. Charter Bourbon Society, they do a lot of reviews. You'll see me on there periodically doing reviews with them. Lynn Zeller, he doesn't know that I'm telling all this right now. I didn't get a signed affidavit or anything, or I didn't tell him. So it's just it is what it is. He's the reason for all of this. And when you look at the Charred Oak Bourbon Society page, the Facebook page, the TikTok page, YouTube channel, Lynn is directly the culprit behind all of this because, we'll talk about it. I'll let him tell the story when I bring him here on the podcast because he's definitely going to come on. But we had a situation last weekend. We all hooked up at in Leesburg, Indiana, and his wife, Tammy Zeller. She is a wonderful, wonderful person. Tammy is a really good person. She came up to me and she was like, "Hey, Ricky," she said, "I gotta ask you, man." She said, "You guys, you content creators and you're influencers. You guys are influencing people, creating content for us to go out and buy bourbon. And you guys are talking about the great notes. Hold on a second." Ooh-wee. You're talking about the great notes. bourbon, and you guys talk about the great taste of bourbon and all the good things about bourbon and bourbon and bourbon and bourbon and bourbon and bourbon. And I'm just sitting there listening. I'm eating my big old fat tenderloin sandwich, and she's eating whatever she's eating. And she said, "Why don't you do a blind of the 5 worst bourbons and blind them?" And I sat there and I'm like, damn, why didn't I think about that? Or why didn't anybody in our group think about that some time ago? Why didn't we blind bad bourbons? So, we create the content. We're putting the content out there. So I'm like, Tammy, I've heard you loud and clear, okay? And I'm going to get with these guys, and we are going to do a blind of the 5 worst bourbons that probably I had, or Lynn had, or Dale has, or Andy has, Nick. Nick said the thing tastes like feet, so yeah. All right. So I'm just saying, we are in the process. I'm going to talk to them tonight, Sunday night, and I'm gonna like, hey, Tammy said, let's try to do this, and see if we can make it happen. It's a fun time. We're content creators. We are influencers. We influence people to go out and buy bourbon. Now, whether or not they go out and do it, I did. I'm bad about it. I got influenced to go buy Jim Beam Winter Reserve. Horrible. Okay, that's just my taste. Okay, so don't get mad at me, but it was horrible. Keep your money in your pocket. Hold on a second. Ooh. Okay. So I was just sitting there because I'm like bored today, and I was like, you know what? I could put a video out on the podcast, and I could put something out. It's doom and gloom outside, and everything's going on over, and just this world is just really weird. So I'm like, I have nothing to do. Mama, I had to get okay from her to come out here to do it because she finds everything, like I said, for me to do. So we got it out here, and we're working it out. And I thought about this, and I thought about, like, what would be a good thing for a person to know that's been drinking bourbon at right around that 2-year, that 2.5 year mark. We're still young in this thing. There's some guys that's been drinking this stuff for a minute, and they know what they know. And I'm like, well, I started thinking about that. And I sat down and I thought about, let me put out a video of the 5 best bourbons that is on my shelf that I had in 2025. The 5 best that I've had. Okay, now if you guys see something up here, you're like, hey, Ricky, I see this up on your shelf, shoot me a comment and say, hey, what do you think about X, Y, and Z? But I picked the 5 best that I have on my shelf. In no particular order. It's just what I thought was good, okay? And in 2025, you know what? I am going to go in order. I think I am going to go in. I can't go in order. I'm just going to randomly pick them. This early times, Bottle and Bond, right here. For you all that are trying to get into the bourbon game and you want something that tastes really, 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 really good, the early times Bottle and Bond, it's been around for a minute, 1850s, 1860s. Brown Forman used to own it. Zazarek took over it. 79% corn, 11% rye. The rest of it is malted barley. That right there, my old man back in the day used to drink it the early times. Not the Bottle and Bond, but the early times. and it's a really solid drink. I have not found it here in Fort Wayne, and I don't even know if they make it in the 750. So that's the 1.75 right there. And it's a solid pour, y'all. So if you're trying to find something really, really good and you're starting to get into the bourbon game, that is a solid pour right there. Hold on a second. Last year, I was buying to buy. I just bought liquor, just bought bourbon. I just wanted to buy it. 2026, I'm not doing that. I'm going to taste this stuff first and try it out first. If I like it, I'm buying it. And you hold on with me to the end of this video, you'll see something that, yeah, it's going to kind of surprise you a little bit. But I went out, and I'm glad that I bought this one. The Green River Wheated Bourbon. Right there is the blue label. I think it has like 3 different versions, but this wheated, best bourbon in the world in 2025 by the New York World Spirits Competition. $30 on the shelf. Not high priced at all. Let me tell you folks, that wheated bourbon right there, this one, is solid. It's so smooth, it's dangerous. Hold on a second, hold on. It's smooth. This is good, man. This Woodford Reserve Double Oak is good. But it's not, it didn't make the list, but it's good. It's really, really good. But that Green River, that's a solid pour. And if you guys are starting to get into the bourbon game you want to know what's a good pour that I have, okay? Some of these guys might say, hey, Ricky, your bourbon sucks. I heard just the other night that I was with my buddy Aubrey. He said, hey, man, this bourbon sucked. Guess what? I didn't get mad that Aubrey said that my bourbon sucked because I thought it was bad too. But it is what it is, okay? So, Green River, you guys made it. All right. Another one. This right here. He probably already showed it to you, but the 1792 small batch out of Barton's Distillery in Bardstown. Right there, solid pour right there. If you're looking to get into bourbon, it's really good bourbon right there. 75% corn, 15 rye. It's a higher rye build on it, and it has a bold, spicy profile, a 93.7 proof, solid bourbon, solid on going neat. Hold on a second. Solid, going neat. You can even put it on ice. And an old fashioned, crazy. And like, this is just what's on my bar, on my shelf. I don't really have a bar, but on my shelf, if I like it. And I'm glad that I bought that bottle right there. I have the 1792 small batch. I have the 1792 bottle and bond. And the 1792 foolproof. And here's the funny part. And my bourbon buddies would say this. None of them are even open. These are bottles that have been sitting up on my shelf for basically a year. And I've had it at a bar. I had this one on a cruise. And it was delicious. Hold on a second. I don't know where this has been all of my life, but this right here, man, this is really, really good. I taste raisins up in there, the raisin note. But anyway, all right. So I did a video guys that know me, that drink with me, they know that I'm not a rye guy. I was talking to my buddy Dale, and Dale said, Ricky, man, you just ran across the wrong rye. And I'm like, is there a good rye? You know, I did the James E. Pepper 1776. Just didn't do it for me. It was kind of like that Jim Beam Winter Reserve thing, okay? Just, matter of fact, here, let me digress. That Jim Beam Winter Reserve is not back up on this shelf. We didn't bring that back home. We gave that bottle away. Well, that's what we're going to do. And if you guys watched the video last week, we gave bottles away. We're going to be doing this stuff more often, and reaching out to the people who comment and say, "Hey, Ricky, what do you think?" And then if I see you, I'm like, just by a point of a finger, and I'm like, I'm going to send this bottle to that person. Now, with that being said, I'm not going to send it to you. We'll hook up, because you don't know if Uncle Sammy is listening to this and they're like, hey, that dude's bootlegging. So we'll just make a road trip. And you meet me halfway, I'll meet you halfway, and you get your bottle. I'm just going to give it away. That's what it's going to be all about. But yeah, I'm not a rye dude. I didn't like the rye. And so I went over to this one bar. Me and my wife went over to this one bar. I had an old fashioned made with this particular rye. And let me tell you something. It kind of changed the way my thinking is. And that is this right here. Michter's. Right there. Michter's. Small, all straight rye. It's 51% rye. It's a higher rye right there. When they made that old fashioned, it knocked my socks off, and I had to ask the little young girl. I'm like, "What's the bourbon?" And she said Michter's, and I was like, "Yeah, they do. That is good." So, $52, $52. And the majority of this stuff, let me say, yeah, except all of it. I went over to Costco's and got that. So the MSRP, the secondary price, the secondary market on these bottles are very, very, very low over at Costco's. So getting your family roadster and get over there to Costco's and buy it. You don't even have to give a membership. Just go and say, hey, I want to buy some alcohol. They'll let you in. They're like, welcome to Costco's. And you could go right on back up in there and get whatever bottle you want and pay for it and leave. All right. So, but no, I was not a rye dude. I was not a rye dude. And Michter's changed my mind thus far. Got it in last year, probably about the 6th, 7th month of last year, 2025. I like that rye. It's really, 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 really good. And starting to develop a rye taste and not so much judge a book by its cover. But one of the best bottles in 2025 that I've had, okay, I don't know, hold on a second. This don't make no sense. My parents used to say, this don't make no done sense. Now, I don't know what done sense mean, but I can imagine that right there, this double oak, don't make no done sense. All right, so listen. This bottle, the last one that I'm bringing to you, is everyday. Let me see how I'm going to put this, because I don't want to chew it up. It's an everyday shelfer, affordable, good, delicious, is getting gooder. I don't know. I mean, gooder is not a word, but it sounds good now, so it's getting gooder. You don't have to spend a lot of money for it, and you take it to a party. You could be the life of the party. It's solid. It's really solid. So, just right here, Birds, Evan Williams, Bottle and Bond. Now, don't get it confused because both the Evan Williams Bottle and Bond and Evan Williams, the black label, look identical. Only thing is, one's green and white and one's black and white. This Bottle and Bond is a value at 78% corn, it has 13% rye, 10% malted. It's done by the Heaven Hill Distillery in Bardstown. Without a doubt, you want to get this one on your shelf. Now, listen, these 5 bottles that I put up here, hold on a second. I'm drinking right now because I just found out that I don't have to go to work tomorrow, so I can drink a little bit today. So we didn't even have church today. That's how bad it is here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's so bad outside until it's like, man, when I'm thinking about going to the grocery store and I'm like looking out the door and I'm like, I'm trying to find leftovers. I went in the cabinet and found me some canned salmon and made me some salmon and eggs this morning. So, but these 5 bottles right here, readily available. You can find them anywhere, okay? They're not expensive. They're not going to break the bank. Really solid pours. That's what I had last year. I had a ton of stuff up on the shelf, but I was going at the lower end for those of you who are starting to want to get involved into the bourbon thing here, and definitely get these on your shelves. I highly recommend, and they're really solid pours. I don't think that anybody that's going to leave comments probably would disagree with that. But I had told you about 5 minutes ago that there was something here in 2026 that I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I think, and this is just my prediction, and this is just Ricky's prediction. This doesn't mean diddly, okay? This is just my prediction, okay? That the Jim Beams, the Jack Daniels, the Evan Williams, the Maker's Marks. I'm talking about, I call those guys the big box bourbons, the ones that are staples, that are good, that's been around here since like my daddy drank stuff, okay? My granddaddy drank it. That's been around for a while. The Jack Daniels been around here forever and a day. And you're going to hear some guys, like, hey, you can't talk about Jack Daniels like that. No, I ain't tripping. I ain't tripping. Jack Daniels is solid. I mean, Old Number 7 is not my thing. Old Number 7, like Nick said, tastes like feet, okay? It's just, it doesn't fit me, okay? But let me tell y'all something. Please, my wife told me, she said, stop saying gentlemen. She says ladies drink bourbon too. So I'm going to say ladies and gentlemen. There are some better bourbons that are out that taste better than big box bourbons, okay? If you guys get your hand on some Penelope, like Penelope is crazy, doing it crazy, cray. Okay? If you, hold on a second. It don't make no sense how good that is. I don't know why I haven't drank this up earlier, but it's really damn good. I'm not hating on Buffalo Trace. Anybody that knows me know that I have been a Buffalo Tracer dude for a minute. I like Buffalo Trace. I think there's better bourbon out now than Buffalo Trace. I'm about to give you guys two bourbons just that I have to give you three. I have to give you three because I had the third one last night. Three bourbons that's like in 2026 that has knocked my socks off and took the last little, look at here. It then took the last little bit of hair that I had on my head off, okay? That's how good these bourbons are, okay? And I was so like impressed with these. And I drank more than just these two in 2026, okay? But these two have just really, these three have just really just done it for me. This Redwood Empire right there, Pipe Dream, that's a good bourbon right there. And out of California, those boys are doing it out there. And so because of that, I went out and bought it about a week ago. Last night, me and my buddy Aubrey, we were sitting over here and we were drinking and we were trying to solve the world's problems. And that didn't work. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on. Try to find something different when you're drinking with your buddies than to try to solve the world's problems because you will fail miserably, how this country is right now. But we aren't politicking. I'm sharing it with you and you're sharing it with me. So I went out and bought the Redwood Empire Pipe Dream about a week ago. Ladies and gentlemen, get that. That's a really good, solid, smooth sipper. Tastes really, really good. I thought that it was all that to the point that I went out last night in the snow and got the Redwood Empire Grizzly Bear. Let me turn it around right there. You go. I went out and got that last night, and let me tell you something, that thing was so good. I had dreams about it. I rolled over, because my wife sleeps on my left-hand side. I rolled over, and I grabbed her, and I called her Grizzly. I was like, man, Grizzly. And she looked at me like I was crazy. That right there, that Redwood Empire Grizzly, here, 2025? Right, here we go. Solid pour, and a little pricey. Paid $99.99 up at Barrel Proof Liquors in Huntertown. Look them up online. You can. They have stuff that normal liquor stores don't have. Zach is doing a wonderful job at what he does in getting alcohol up there, and I really dig him a lot. He's a really, really good guy. And those guys up there, Raleigh is if you run across Raleigh, he's a really cool dude. So get up there and buy that from his store. And then, I gotta, hold on a second. So, like I said, hold on a second. Hold on again. Hold on. All right, so Sagamore Rye, right there. There it is. Those three bottles right there is my 2026 picks right now. There's more that I've drank, obviously, that has been really, really, really good. I had, because of a content creator, I bought this Sagamore Rye, so I had to look it up, and I had to look it up again. It's out of Maryland, a rye whiskey known for blending two rye mash bills, a high rye and a low rye. It's a 93 proofer. The tasty notes, they say caramel, honey, brown sugar, and fruit notes. It's entry level, right around $39 to $45, and I think I paid right around that $40 $45 mark. Wasn't very, very expensive, but let me tell you something. That's good bourbon right there. That's good rye bourbon. That's a good rye right there, okay? Because I not this. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I wasn't a rye guy, and yeah, when I went and bought that, showed it to my brother-in-law. He was like, "Ricky, Sagamore is really all that and some." And let me tell you something. It is. It is really solid pour. Get it. Get it on your shelf right now. They have more Sagamore products right now that I saw. I'm really interested in getting more educated on Sagamore. They're really, really, really good. So, well, once again, guys, if you like what I'm putting out, I'm just gonna. We're still on the bourbon tour. We're going down. Let me say this and put it out the right way because people. Okay, so Al Capone in this restaurant here in Fort Wayne, Al Capone. That's not the name of the restaurant. But what does Al Capone and this restaurant that we're getting ready to go down and look at their bourbon bar has to do? What are the two, the contrast and compare between these two? You guys are going to want to watch this particular video that's going to come up. We're going to be recording next week for them with Tony West. And he has a restaurant called the Oyster Bar here in Fort Wayne. You're like, Ricky, what does oysters and bourbon have to do with each other? You got to view and find out because let me tell you something. It just blew my socks off when I found out the information about Mr. Capone and what he did with the Oyster Bar. So, you guys liking what I'm putting out? I'm brand new to this. I hold on a second. Let me do how the bourbon judge does it. Hold on. This is what the bourbon judge does. He does it just like that, and I understand why. I understand why the boy do it like he do it. But if you guys are liking what I'm putting down, and we're a young channel, young podcast channel, and trying to come on and come up, you know. Once again, just subscribe to me, like me, leave comments, turn your notifications on. We're about to end this thing up, and we do appreciate you so much. I do really so much. I do. Listen, when I say I appreciate you, I really do appreciate you because guess what? You don't have to take the time out of your day to look at me. I would like for you to look at me, but you don't have to take your time to look at what I'm doing. It might be good, might be corny, whatever. But I do appreciate. Hold on a second. This is the last. Hold on a second. And if you just now viewing in right now, what I mean by hold on a second, it means that every time I say, hold on a second, I'm drinking a shot of something that I had on the table. Tonight it was, so those of you who came in late, is the Woodford Reserve Double Oak. And that's what I'm drinking on tonight. So I'm going to drink this little last corner that's up in there, okay? Here, look. Ooh, wee. Lord have mercy. Where you been? So, subscribe to me, like me, turn your notifications on, and we will continue on doing this and putting out content. We're going to be talking about some things coming up in the future. I need to get talking about Fawn Weaver. I'm I'm going to talk about Fawn Weaver. I'm not going to put it out right now, but I do want you guys to get on the internet and look up under Fawn Weaver. You're going to see that who she represents and who she's the CEO. She's a sister. She's a CEO of a brand, and I want to talk about her, and I want to talk about her. Sure enough, I'm going to talk about her, and I'm going to tag her into it and, make it do what it do. So until next time, we do appreciate you guys so much. When I tell you that I appreciate you, I really, truly do appreciate you so much. And we're going to get with you next time, and we are going to continue this little ride together that we have. So thank you. Like I say, like we say on Charred Oak Bourbon Society, drink responsibly. I'm about to take that phrase a little bit further. Drink responsibly. Do not drink and drive, because you do not look good. I'd have had a little bit too many more of, hold on a second, okay? You don't look good. You don't look good in an orange jumpsuit. What that means is our county jail here has orange jumpsuits in the jail, and you don't look good in the orange jumpsuit because you have an orange jumpsuit on. You can't watch my video, and then what happens is you can't subscribe, turn your notifications on because you're in a jumpsuit. I'm trying to tell you guys, don't drink and drive, okay? You guys take care, stay warm out there, keep your driveways clean, because you're going to have somebody coming up from Amazon or Uber or DoorDash, and they slip and fall, and then you know how that's going to look. So get up, go clean your driveways off, okay? You guys take care of yourself. Have a good night. Peace.